Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Learners, hopefully this will help you. What I want you to know is that paper 1 consists of algebra and equations and inequalities. That's around about 45% or 45 marks actually. Then you also have to know patterns and sequences, and you need to know functions and graphs for June exam. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to basically video very roughly all the examples that you can get, and inshallah hopefully you will do well. Okay, so let's begin then, right? Exponents and surds. It says simplify expressions and solve the equations using the law of exponents for rational exponents where that's certain, and then add or subtract, multiply and divide simple surds and solve simple equations involving surds. So the whole first section is about exponents, simplifying expressions, or solving equations with exponents involved, and anything to do with surds. So that's what we're going to concentrate on for this video. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So step number 1, whenever you see it says here simplify this expression or simplify this without the use of a calculator, you first must identify what type of question is this. This question is only a multiplication and division question, because here is only multiplication. The dot means multiplication occurring, and this fraction line means division is occurring. So when only multiplication and division is occurring, then step number 1 is to convert all our numbers to their prime bases. So prime bases are basically prime factorization, or you must use your calculator for this part here. So the first one is, if you type in your calculator 4 equal to shift and fact FACT, then you say 2 to the power of 2, and then remember you have to put it all in a bracket and you write whatever exponent is there. So n plus 2 dot 3 to the power of 2, put it in a bracket, n minus 1, all over 72. Now if you type in 72, you get 3 to the power of 3 to the power of 2, and you get 2 to the power of 3. Alright, once you get 3 to the power 2 and 2 to the power 3, remember the whole thing is in a bracket to the power of n dot 2 1 minus n. Right, just doing this you get 1 mark for prime factorization, or making the bases prime bases. Then you're going to say, right, now you must always multiply the exponents on the inside with the exponents on the outside. So it's kind of like just saying 2 times n, 2 times plus 2, 3 times 2 times n, 2 times minus 1, and then each of this is also being multiplied here, and this stays the same. So when you multiply out, remember, always make sure you're doing it correctly. 2 times n is 2n, plus 2 times 2 is 4 dot 3, 2 times n is 2n, times 2 times negative 1 is negative 2, all over 3 2 times n dot 2 3 times n dot 2 1 minus n. Right, once you come to this step here, then remember you always add the bases when you multiply, but when you divide you subtract. So this part here is a very important step. Many people forget it and then they lose it. Now when we are multiplying, we multiply like bases, so we look for all the bases with 2. So here's a 2, say 2 2n plus 4. Can I multiply with any, can I add them with any of them on top here? No, but at the bottom I have division occurring. So I'm going to put a minus sign, I'm going to open the brackets, and I'm going to write the exponents of these two with addition in it. So 3n plus 1 minus n. Then I'm also going to do it for number 3. So I'll put a dot in between, I'm going to say right 3. So 3, I'm going to say 2n minus 2. There's no other addition happening on top, so this is division now. So minus open brackets 2n, and that's all. There's nothing else there. Let me close it. Now we multiply out again. So 2 to the power 2n plus 4, negative 3 and negative 1, positive. And remember, between that and that is an invisible number, 1. And remember, whenever you multiply by a negative number, all the signs changes. Multiplied by 3, 2n minus 2 minus 2n. Remember, this negative and positive became negative. Now you simplify your exponents. You say 2n minus 3n plus n. Those all cancel out. 4 minus 1 is positive 3. Then you got times 3. This 2n and that 2n cancelled out, and you have negative 2. Now your final answer must never ever be in negative exponents. They always want it to be in positive exponents. So when your final answer is going to be, it's going to be 2 to the power of 3. Now remember, when this is a negative, it either goes to the bottom. If it was at the bottom and it was a negative, it would have gone to the top. So now it'll be 3 to the power of 2. But my final answer, I'm not done yet, so my final answer is going to be 2 to the power of 3, which is 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8, and 3 to the power of 2, which is 9. Can I simplify further? No. So that's my final answer. Right. If you look at it, so we're just going to go over it again. Step number 1, convert your numbers into prime bases. Then step number 2, multiply the inside exponent with the outside exponents. And then step number 3, after you do that, collect all the same prime bases. So number 2, if it's on the same numerator, then it's addition. If it's going to the denominator, then it's subtraction. Because remember, division is the opposite, subtraction. So once we group them, we always put subtraction when we are dividing. Then we cancel out like terms, and finally when we left with this, we don't leave negative exponents, we always have positive exponents. And then your final answer must be simplified till the end. Something like this is worth about 6 marks. Just depends on who sets the paper. Right, now it's your turn to take down these two, number 2 and number 3. And I want you to put your timer on for 5 minutes. When you put your timer on for 5 minutes, these two must be done in 5 minutes. Now don't cheat. Don't try to look at the answers beforehand or forward this video. Just have patience. Follow the instructions that we just did now, and you should be fine. Okay, so I want you to take these two sums down. I want you to pause, and please try the following on your own. You can do it, just believe. Alright, let's begin. So step number 1, prime bases. So our prime base is going to be 2 times 5 all to the power of x. You're going to have 5 to the power of 2 all to the power of x plus 1. Then you're going to have all over, you're going to have 5 to the power of x. Then to find out 50, I told you can do ladder method, or you can type in your calculator 50 equal shift FACT fact, and then you're going to get 2 times 5 to the power of 2 all to the power of x minus 1. Once you come to this step, it's exponents on the inside, exponents on the outside. You multiply. Remember, 2 and 5 has a power of 1. So 1 times x is 2 to the power of x. 1 times x is 5 to the power of x. Dot, then you say 5, 2 to the power, 2 times x is 2x plus 2 times 1 is 2. All over 5 to the power of x. And you're going to say it also has a power of 1. So you're going to say 2x minus 1 times 5, 2x minus 2. That's very important. It's 2 times negative 1 is minus 2. Once you come to this step here, remember, here on top, if you are multiplying, you are adding the exponents. When you are dividing, you are subtracting the exponents. So you find the same prime basis. So 2 to the power of x, then there's nothing on top, so you're going to minus. Now because division, you're going to minus. So minus, open brackets, x minus 1. You're going to do for 5, you're going to say x plus 2x plus 2, because it's multiplication, so you're adding the bases. But then in this division, you are subtracting. So minus x plus 2x minus 2. And then now you multiply out. So 2 to the power of x minus x plus 1 dot 5x plus 2x plus 2 minus x minus 2x plus 2. I simplify. This cancels out with this. I'm left with positive 1. Then you go here. These x and 2x and minus x and 2x here, minus 2x here, also cancels out each other, and 2 plus 2 is 4, so 5 to the power of 4. Now when you multiply this out in your calculator, you get 1250. So let's see at what steps you would get marks for. So they will give you a mark for prime factorizing the top, prime factorizing the bottom, for multiplying out the exponents, and then for grouping them they would give you, and then for for grouping them, and then for your final answer. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sometimes they might have given you a step here, so it's 5 to 6 marks, just depending on who's setting the paper. I hope you got it right. Now let's do the next one, and remember it's the same steps. This is called the multiplication divisions of exponents. It's always the same steps. So let's go to the step here. So when you go here, we're gonna first start now. So step number 1, we are going to prime factorize. So we're gonna say, right, so you're gonna say 2 to the power of 3 all to the power of n times 2 times 3 n minus 3 times 3 to the power of 2 all to the power of 1 minus 2 all over 16 n minus 1 dot 3 minus n. Right, now when you come here, remember step number 2, exponents on the inside, exponents on the outside, multiply out. So 2 3n times 2n minus 3, remember that's a power of 1, a power of 1 there, dot 3n minus 3 dot 3 2 minus 2n. That's very important to make sure you're multiplying out right. Then you got 16 now. Oh, we forgot to prime factorize 16. The prime factors of 16 is 2 to the power of 4. So 2 to the power of 4 and minus, now don't say minus 1. Remember it's 4 times negative 1, which is negative 4 dot 3 to the negative n. Right, then now when you're multiplying out, you finish multiply out. Now we group our terms. When we group our terms, we have 2 to the power of 3n plus n minus 3. So that's my two prime bases of 2 on top. Now we are minusing because we are dividing. So minus 4n minus 4 dot 3n minus 3 plus 2 minus 2n negative n. Now we multiply out the base, the brackets. You see how important the smaller grades information is, how to do this. Simple multiplication, simple signs are so important. Alright, now when you're simplifying now, you say 3n plus n is 4n, 4n minus 4n is just nothing. The minus 3 plus 4 is positive 1, so 2 to the power of 1. Now don't be afraid, sometimes your answer will have an alphabet in the exponent. That is possible. It doesn't have to always become a number. Right, so you have a positive n, a negative 2n, and then a positive n here. So 2n minus 2n gets cancelled out. And you got negative 3 plus 2, so it's going to become negative 1. So 3 to the power of negative 1. Remember now, negative numbers, we don't like negative numbers, negative exponents, so we need to move it. So from the top, it's going to go to the bottom. So 2 is going to stay on top, and 3 is going to go to the bottom. And that's your final answer. I hope you got it right. If you can do these 3 sums, then you already tick off the first part that says multiplication and divisions of exponents. Well done. Let's recap what we just learned now. When you do multiplication and division of exponents, step 1, you must do prime factorization. So remember, use your calculator, type in the number, press equal to, press shift, press FACT, fact. Then step 2, multiply out the exponents. Remember the exponents on the inside, exponents on the outside, multiply them out. Make sure you're multiplying properly. That's called like the shower method. Then step 3, if only multiplication and division occurring, then you must add the exponents of the common bases. If it's multiplication, that normally is the numerator on the same part, or you must subtract exponents of common bases if division. So that's normally the denominator. When you are dividing by the denominator, then you subtract the exponents. And step number 4, multiply out the brackets again of the exponents, and then add like terms of the exponents. And step number 3, always have positive exponents as your final answer. So this should be what you need to do. So I just want to say good luck. Bye.